English learners. Welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
And we're bringing you the final lesson of our job interview series.
That's right. And in this lesson, we're going to be focusing on two very, very common but sometimes difficult questions.
Okay, so we've talked about preparing for the job interview in part 1. Part 2, we talked about educational background and work experience. And in part 3, what are we going to be looking at?
We're going to be looking at two questions: why we should hire you, and your greatest weakness.
Okay, so these are the classic, common questions that you'll get at a job interview, right?
That's right. So why don't we just get started, and we'll take a listen to the dialogue and see how our interviewee handles these questions.
Very good. Now, I have a couple of final questions.
I hope they're not too hard.
Well, why should we hire you?
I think that I would be a perfect fit in this company. I have a unique combination of strong technical acumen with outstanding soft skills. You know, I excel at building strong, long-term consumer relationships. For example, when I headed the customer support department in my previous company, our team resolved about 70% of our customers' problems. I decided that we needed better information and technical preparation on our products. So after, I implemented a series of training sessions in coordination with our technical department. We were able to solve 90% of our customers' issues. Given the opportunity, I could bring this kind of success to this company.
Woo. Impressive. So, what would you consider to be your greatest weakness?
To be honest, I struggle with organization and time management. Punctuality has never been a strength of mine. I find it hard to organize my time effectively. I've actually addressed this weakness recently by attending a workshop on efficient time management. It helped me a lot by providing me with great insights on how to get organized and use my time efficiently. So I think I'm getting better now.
Great. Well, let me tell you that I am very pleased with this interview. We are shortlisting our candidates this week, and next week we will inform our shortlisted candidates of the day and time for a second interview with our CEO.
Great, thanks a lot. I hope to hear from you. Goodbye.
Well, our interviewee is doing very well, but I think he had a little bit too many beans or chili.
Oh my God. Like, this is probably the most embarrassing thing I can think of.
But he doesn't say anything, so I don't know. Maybe he should have said, "Oh, pardon me, excuse me," or something.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's a controversy.
Yeah. Okay, but what isn't a controversy is the language, because there's some great stuff in here.
All right. So let's take a look at the language in Language Takeaway.
Language takeaway.
All right, we've got some great phrases and words for you to use when you're talking about what sort of benefits and skills and experience and expertise you can bring to a company.
Okay. The first thing that he said, and it's a very interesting word, he said technical acumen.
Technical acumen.
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 This is a really hard word. What is acumen?
It's basically insight and understanding and the ability to make good and difficult decisions.
Okay, so he has a very strong technical acumen.
So a strong insight or understanding of technical issues.
Okay, or I can change it and maybe say, I have a very strong business acumen.
Exactly. These are the two most common ways that this word is used: technical acumen, business acumen.
Okay, great. Now let's take a look at another word which is very interesting because everybody knows it.
Yes.
Excel.
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 Now, Excel is, of course, the software that you use, right?
Yeah. But here it's a verb meaning to be really, really good at something.
Right. To be the best, maybe.
Yeah.
To excel at something.
Yes. So I excel at cooking.
All right. So excel, you are the best.
I mean, that's not really going to help me in a job interview, but the next word might.
Head.
Head.
Well, in the dialogue, we heard it as headed in the past, right?
Yeah, that's right. He headed the customer support department.
So I think this is a great I think this is a great word to use when you were saying I was the leader. I was the main person in charge.
Yeah, the manager. So this is a nice verb to use to show that you were leading something.
Okay. Okay, now for the next word. Struggle.
To struggle.
Struggle. So what does struggle mean?
It means that you have difficulty doing something.
So it's hard for you.
Yeah.
For example, when I was in school, I struggled with math.
Okay, and now I struggle with Chinese.
Exactly. So to have a hard time.
Yeah. Why don't we hear a couple of examples of how this word is used?
Example 1. We're really struggling to reach our sales target. Example 2.
Yeah, to be honest, I do struggle with time management.
Example 3.
The teacher farted in class and I really had to struggle not to laugh.
Okay, so great examples. Let's move on to our next word. Punctuality.
Punctuality.
Okay, so to be punctual.
It means to be on time, always.
So punctuality would be the noun form.
Right, so the condition or the state of always being on time.
Right, so punctuality, to be punctual.
Yeah, and our interviewee struggles with punctuality.
Right, like me.
I guess you guys have something in common.
We do. Now, he has a problem with punctuality, but he said he has addressed this weakness.
Yes, to address.
Address. Now, if you notice, it's spelled the same way as address.
That's right.
But you pronounce it differently.
So the verb address has the stress on the second syllable.
Okay, address.
Yes.
And that means to
deal with.
To deal with the problem.
Yeah,
To acknowledge the problem.
And to try and solve it.
Okay. So different from your home address where you live.
Yeah. And there the stress is on the first syllable.
Address.
Right.
Perfect. Very good. Okay, so let's listen to this dialogue one more time, and then we'll come back and talk about these two questions. Greatest weakness, and why should we hire you?
Very good. Now, I have a couple of final questions.
I hope they're not too hard.
Yes. Well, why should we hire you?
I think that I would be a perfect fit in this company. I have a unique combination of strong technical acumen with outstanding soft skills. I excel at building strong, long-term consumer relationships. For example, when I headed the customer support department in my previous company, our team resolved about 70% of our customers' problems. I decided that we needed better information and technical preparation on our products. So after, I implemented a series of training sessions in coordination with our technical department. We were able to solve 90% of our customers' issues. Given the opportunity, I could bring this kind of success to this company.
Woo. Impressive. So, what would you consider to be your greatest weakness?
To be honest, I struggle with organization and time management. Punctuality has never been a strength of mine. I find it hard to organize my time effectively. I've actually addressed this weakness recently by attending a workshop on efficient time management. It helped me a lot by providing me with great insights on how to get organized and use my time efficiently. So I think I'm getting better now.
Great. Well, let me tell you that I am very pleased with this interview. We are shortlisting our candidates this week, and next week we will inform our shortlisted candidates of the day and time for a second interview with our CEO.
Great, thanks a lot. I hope to hear from you. Goodbye.
All right, Marco. Well, this classic question, why should we hire you? I think you'll hear it in many, many different interviews. And how did he deal with it here?
Well, the first thing that he said is very, very important because They're asking you why, so your immediate reaction would be to answer with because or I think that, but there's a different way of approaching it, which is a little bit more professional. He said, I think that I would be a perfect fit in this company.
I think I would be a perfect fit in this company.
That's how he started his answer, and then he explained why.
So this sounds really strong, doesn't it?
Yeah, basically, it just makes you seem to be very confident and puts you like you are already part of the company.
So this is a great way to start off this question, but you got to follow this up with some information. So what kind of information should you be giving?
Well, like we talked about in your work experience, the same thing goes here. What do you have to offer to this company? What special skills or insights or experience can you bring that would help us?
Yeah, that nobody else can bring.
Exactly. So, again, you have to start talking about your strengths and your previous experience, but with examples, right?
Very, very specific examples. And whenever you can, throw in some numbers or some specific successes that you have had.
Exactly. And once you've talked about these things, you can close off this answer by saying, given the opportunity, I could bring this kind of success to this company.
Given the opportunity, I could bring this kind of success to this company.
So that is just like a magical sentence saying like, if you give me the chance, I will demonstrate how good I am and how I can help this company.
Yes, a really, really strong closing argument.
Yes. So that's the way you should more or less approach that question, right?
All right, but let's turn now to the classic question. Your greatest weakness.
What is your greatest weakness? When you get this question, be sure to not say, my greatest weakness is I work too much.
My greatest weakness is I'm a workaholic.
Right? Or, what was it? Oh, or I am a perfectionist.
Yeah, these, we can see right through these.
Right.
I mean, they're too obvious and they're too silly. I mean, everyone has a weakness, so don't try and turn it around into a strength. I just don't think that's a good idea.
Okay. So, yeah, be sure to stay away from these answers. But you can say anything. Like in this case, he has a problem with being on time.
Yep.
So be honest, say what one of your greatest weaknesses are, but the key to making this weakness look good is saying what you are doing to solve this weakness.
Exactly. So really be truthful. Tell the interviewer what you're not good at, because there's obviously something that you're not good at.
Exactly. So you can say, I am usually late, but I am getting more organized. I am doing the seminar. Let the interviewer know that you are trying to improve this weakness.
Exactly.
And be sure to also think about your strength, right?
Yeah, be prepared to answer the question, what is your greatest strength?
So, and again, when you're talking about your strengths, be sure it's something more specific than saying, oh, I'm very responsible.
Yeah. You want to be as specific as you can. And again, give those examples, give those successes, give those numbers.
Right, exactly. So think about your weaknesses, think about your strengths. If you don't know them, ask people, to ask your colleagues or ask your friends, what do you think is my greatest strength? Maybe you're a funny person. That's a strength.
Yes.
Job interviews can be one of the most stressful parts of getting a new job. Whether you're just starting your career or looking to switch jobs, how you answer questions in the interview can make a big difference. In this podcast, we'll focus on two of the most common questions you'll face. Why should we hire you? And what is your greatest weakness? We'll look at how to answer these questions in a way that shows your strengths, but also how to do it in a way that feels natural and confident. Let's start with the first question. Why should we hire you? This might seem like an easy question at first, but it's actually a chance for you to show your skills and fit for the job. To answer it well, you need to focus on two things: why you are a good match for the job and how your skills can help the company. Here's an example. I believe I'm a good fit for this position because I have the skills and experience that directly align with what you're looking for. I have strong technical acumen, which means I'm very good at understanding and using technology to solve problems. In my last job, I was able to use technology to improve our workflow, which helped the team complete projects faster and more efficiently. When you answer this way, you're showing that you understand what the job requires and that you can help the company succeed. The phrase technical acumen means having a deep understanding of technology, especially when it comes to using it to solve problems. Using words like this helps you sound professional and knowledgeable. But remember, it's not just about talking about your skills. You also need to show how you fit with the company. You might say something like, "I'm very excited about this opportunity because I know that this company values innovation and creativity, which is something I'm passionate about." By doing this, you're connecting your skills and interests with what the company values, making it clear that you will contribute positively to the team. Now, let's think about another key word: excel. When you're describing your experience, using the word excel helps show that you don't just do the job, you do it well. For example, in my previous role, I consistently excelled in meeting deadlines and working under pressure. This tells the interviewer that you perform well in challenging situations and that you can be relied on. Your answers don't have to be perfect, but the key is to speak clearly, focus on your strengths, and make a connection between your abilities and the company's needs. When you can do that, you'll show that you're ready for the job and that you understand both what's required and how you can contribute. Now, let's move on to another challenging question that often comes up in job interviews. What is your greatest weakness? This is a tricky one because you want to be honest, but at the same time, you don't want to say something that will make the interviewer think that you're not a good fit for the job. The key to answering this question well is to show self-awareness and also explain how you are working to improve that weakness. Here's a good answer. One area I've struggled with in the past is delegating tasks. I'm someone who likes to take on a lot of responsibility, but I've realized that it's important to trust my team members and share the workload. I've been working on this by regularly checking in with my team and asking for help when needed. This has really improved our overall efficiency and allowed me to focus more on bigger projects. Notice that the answer is honest about a weakness, but it also shows growth. You don't want to say something like, "I don't have any weaknesses," because that comes across as insincere. Everyone has something they can improve on. Instead, acknowledge a weakness, but then explain how you've taken steps to address it. This shows that you are self-aware and that you're committed to personal and professional growth. When you answer this question, avoid saying things like, "I'm a perfectionist," or "I care too much about the quality of my work." While those might sound like weaknesses, they often seem more like strengths in disguise. Interviewers are looking for something real that shows you're aware of your challenges and actively trying to improve. Let's look at another example. In the past, I've struggled with time management, especially when I'm handling multiple projects at once. But I've learned to use tools like to-do lists and scheduling apps to stay on track. I also prioritize my tasks at the beginning of each day so I can focus on the most important things first. I'm much better at managing my time now and can handle multiple tasks without feeling overwhelmed. In this answer, the weakness, time management, is real, but the solution, using tools and prioritizing tasks, shows that you're taking control of the situation. You're not only talking about the weakness, but also proving that you've improved. Here's a final tip. Be specific when talking about your weakness and how you've worked to improve it. Saying, "I struggle with time management, but I've started using a planner to organize my day," is much more helpful than simply saying, "I struggle with time management, but I'm working on it." The more specific you can be, the more convincing your answer will be. The greatest weakness question is an opportunity to show that you are both honest and proactive in improving yourself. By being thoughtful and explaining how you've taken steps to address your weaknesses, you're showing that you are capable of growth and that you're the kind of person who learns from their mistakes. When preparing for a job interview, it's not just about answering the questions, it's about how you answer them. Using the right vocabulary and expressions can make a big difference in how confident and professional you sound. Let's explore some powerful phrases and vocabulary that can help you shine in an interview, especially when answering tough questions like, "Why should we hire you?" and "What is your greatest weakness?" One of the most important things in any interview is to speak with clarity and confidence. If you're unsure about what to say, it's better to take a moment and think before answering than to rush and say something unclear. For example, when answering, "Why should we hire you?" you might say, "I believe I'm a strong candidate for this position because I have the necessary skills and experience that directly align with the job description." Notice the use of strong candidate and necessary skills and experience. These words help you sound both confident and prepared. Another great phrase to use is, "I bring to the table." This means you offer something valuable. For example, "I bring to the table strong communication skills and a proven ability to lead a team." It's a simple phrase, but it shows that you're offering real value to the company. Let's also talk about how to show that you are self-motivated and results-oriented. You can say, "I am highly self-motivated and always look for ways to improve my work." For example, in my previous job, I was able to improve sales by 20% by identifying new opportunities and optimizing our process. Using numbers like 20% shows that you can measure success. It also makes your answer more concrete and compelling. When talking about a weakness, use language that shows you're actively working on it. For example, "I've always struggled with saying no to additional tasks, which sometimes leads to feeling overwhelmed. But I've learned how to manage my workload better by setting clearer boundaries and prioritizing tasks based on urgency." This answer highlights the weakness, but immediately follows it with what you've done to fix it, showing that you're proactive and solution-oriented. Another powerful phrase to use is, "I've learned to." This shows growth and self-awareness. For example, "I've learned to be more flexible and adaptable in challenging situations." Or, "I've learned to delegate tasks effectively when working on team projects." Using "I've learned" helps you focus on what you've done to overcome challenges and shows that you're always improving. Don't forget the phrase, "I am excited about," when discussing why you're interested in the position. For example, "I am excited about the opportunity to contribute to your team and bring my skills in project management to this role." This phrase shows that you are enthusiastic and genuinely interested in the position, not just looking for any job. To sound more polished, try to use positive language even when discussing a weakness. Instead of saying, "I'm bad at multitasking," say something like, "I find it challenging to manage multiple tasks at once, but I've developed strategies like using time management tools to improve my efficiency." The key here is to spin the weakness into a positive by showing that you're aware of it and taking steps to improve it. Finally, don't forget to thank the interviewer at the end of your answers. A simple "Thank you for considering my application," or "I really appreciate the opportunity to discuss how I can contribute to the team," can leave a strong, positive impression. It shows gratitude and leaves the conversation on a friendly, professional note. With these powerful phrases and expressions, you'll be able to answer interview questions more clearly, confidently, and professionally. The more you practice using them, the easier it will be to sound natural and in control, no matter what questions you face. Preparation is key when it comes to a successful job interview. The more prepared you are, the more confident you'll feel when answering questions. Now we'll focus on practical ways to practice and prepare for an interview. These tips will not only help you refine your answers, but also help you understand how to present yourself in the best light possible. First, research the company. Before the interview, take time to learn about the company's culture, values, and goals. Check their website, read recent news about them, and see if they have social media pages you can learn from. For example, if the company values innovation and creative thinking, you can say, "I'm excited to apply because I admire your focus on innovation and have always sought ways to think outside the box in my own work." This shows that you are prepared and genuinely interested in the company, not just the job. Next, review the job description. Understand the responsibilities and qualifications needed for the position. This will help you match your skills and experiences to what the company is looking for. For instance, if the job requires excellent communication skills, you can say, "I have consistently been praised for my strong communication skills, both in writing and speaking. In my previous role, I delivered presentations to large groups and worked closely with cross-functional teams." By matching your skills to the job, you show that you're a great fit. Another helpful preparation step is to practice your answers. Rehearse common interview questions with a friend, family member, or even in front of a mirror. Saying your answers out loud helps you sound more confident and natural. You can start with questions like, "Tell me about yourself," or "Where do you see yourself in 5 years?" Even practicing the tougher questions like, "What is your greatest weakness?" will help you feel more comfortable when answering. It's also useful to prepare examples. Employers love to hear real-life examples of how you've handled challenges, solved problems, or achieved goals. Think of specific situations from your past work or school experiences that show your skills in action. For example, if a question asks, "Can you give an example of when you worked well under pressure?" You can say, "Yes, in my previous job, we had a tight deadline for a project. I stayed calm, prioritized tasks, and worked with my team to meet the deadline successfully." This gives the interviewer a clear picture of how you can handle similar situations in the future. Another key point in preparation is to dress appropriately. What you wear for an interview depends on the company and the role, but it's always better to be slightly more formal than too casual. Wearing professional clothes will help you feel confident and show that you respect the interview process. Remember, first impressions matter, and dressing appropriately shows that you're serious about the opportunity. Also, be on time. Arriving early for the interview is essential. Aim to be there 10 to 15 minutes before your scheduled time. Being late can leave a negative impression even if you have a good reason. Being punctual shows that you are reliable and organized. Finally, ask questions. At the end of the interviewer will likely ask you if you have any questions. This is your chance to show your interest in the company and the role. You can ask about the team you'll be working with, the company's goals, or how success is measured in the position. For example, you could ask, "What does success look like in this role, and how do you measure it?" Asking thoughtful questions shows that you're thinking seriously about the position and how you can contribute. By taking these preparation steps, you'll not only feel more confident during your interview, but you'll also be ready to impress the interviewer with your knowledge, skills, and professional attitude. The more you practice and prepare, the more natural and relaxed you'll feel when it's time for the real interview. It's completely normal to feel nervous before an interview. The pressure to make a good impression can be overwhelming, but the good news is that with the right strategies, you can manage your nerves and stay calm, confident, and in control. Let's look at some techniques that will help you keep your anxiety in check and perform your best when it matters most. First, take deep breaths. It might sound simple, but breathing deeply can calm your nerves and give you a moment to relax. When you feel anxious, try to pause. Take a deep breath in through your nose, hold it for a second, and then slowly breathe out through your mouth. This helps to reduce tension and keeps your mind clear. You can do this before the interview begins or even during the interview if you feel overwhelmed. It's a simple trick that has a big effect on your ability to think clearly. Another helpful strategy is visualization. Before the interview, imagine yourself succeeding. Picture yourself answering questions confidently, speaking clearly, and feeling positive throughout the interview. Visualizing success helps to reduce fear and boosts your confidence. It's like mentally rehearsing a winning performance before you step onto the stage. In addition, positive self-talk is a powerful tool. Instead of focusing on what could go wrong, remind yourself of what you've already achieved. Say things like, "I am prepared for this," or "I have the skills they need." This kind of positive thinking helps you feel empowered and ready to face any challenge. Repeating encouraging thoughts can make you feel more grounded and capable, so you walk into the interview with a positive attitude. One more useful trick is to prepare for the worst. It might seem strange, but thinking about what might go wrong and having a plan for those situations can actually calm your nerves. For example, what will you do if you don't know the answer to a question? How will you react if you forget something important? Just knowing that you have a strategy for these situations can help you feel more in control. You can say something like, "I don't know the exact answer, but I will look into it and follow up after the interview," which shows that you are proactive and honest. Let's not forget the importance of body language. The way you sit, stand, and move can have a huge impact on how confident you feel and how the interviewer perceives you. Maintain good posture, avoid crossing your arms, and make eye contact. When you sit up straight and engage with the person in front of you, it sends a message that you are interested, confident, and open to the conversation. Smile when appropriate. It's a simple but effective way to show that you're friendly and approachable. If your nerves are getting the best of you, remember that the interviewer is human too. They understand that interviews can be stressful, and they're likely more focused on getting to know you and how you fit the role than on nitpicking every detail. Sometimes, simply reminding yourself that the interviewer is on your side can help reduce anxiety. Lastly, remember to take your time when answering. You don't need to rush to answer each question immediately. It's okay to pause and think before responding. This not only shows that you are thoughtful, but also gives you a moment to calm your nerves. If you don't understand a question fully, don't be afraid to ask for clarification. It's much better to ask for more information than to give a rushed or unclear answer. By using these techniques, deep breathing, visualization, positive self-talk, preparing for challenges, using confident body language, and taking your time, you'll be able to manage your nerves and stay focused during your interview. With practice, you'll learn how to turn those nerves into energy, allowing you to perform at your best. The interview is over, but the process doesn't end there. What you do after the interview can be just as important as how you perform during it. Following up and staying engaged shows that you are serious about the job and that you are proactive. Now we'll discuss the key steps to take after the interview to keep you in the best possible position. First, always remember to send a thank you note. This might seem simple, but it's a powerful way to show gratitude and professionalism. Sending a short thank you message, either by email or a handwritten note, reminds the interviewer that you appreciate the opportunity and reinforces your interest in the position. A well-written thank you note is also a great way to highlight a key point from the interview. You can say, "Thank you for taking the time to meet with me today. I really enjoyed discussing how my experience in project management aligns with your team's goals." This reinforces your fit for the position and keeps you fresh in the interviewer's mind. Your thank you note doesn't have to be long. It should be brief, polite, and focused on showing appreciation for the opportunity to interview. Here's a simple example. Dear interviewer's name, thank you for the opportunity to interview for the job title position. I enjoyed learning more about your team and how I can contribute to your goals. I look forward to the possibility of working together. Best regards, your name. This follow-up shows that you're still interested and that you respect the interviewer's time. It also serves as a gentle reminder if they've been busy or delayed in making a decision. If you receive an offer, the next step is to evaluate the job offer carefully. Make sure to review the details, including salary, benefits, and any other terms. If you have questions or concerns, don't be afraid to ask the employer for clarification. It's important to fully understand what's being offered before you accept or decline. In case you don't get the job, remember that it's not the end of the road. Stay positive and learn from the experience. Ask for feedback if possible. Many interviewers are happy to provide constructive criticism, which can help you improve for future interviews. For example, you can say, "Thank you for the opportunity to interview. I would appreciate any feedback you can provide to help me improve for future opportunities." Most importantly, don't get discouraged. Rejection happens to everyone at some point. It's a chance to reflect, grow, and try again. Use the experience as motivation to keep improving and continue applying for new opportunities. Each interview is a learning experience that gets you closer to your goal. Finally, stay engaged with your job search. Even after an interview, keep applying for other positions, expanding your network, and working on your skills. The more you practice, the more prepared you'll be when the right opportunity comes along. Job searching can be a long and sometimes difficult process. It's easy to feel discouraged if you don't hear back right away, or if you don't get the job after an interview. However, staying motivated and focused is key to success. Now, we'll discuss strategies to keep your energy high, stay positive, and remain productive throughout your job search. One of the most important things to remember is that patience is key. Finding the right job takes time. Sometimes the process can be slow, especially if you're applying to many positions or waiting for interviews. It's easy to feel frustrated if things aren't moving as quickly as you'd like, but remember that each application, each interview, brings you one step closer to your goal. Keep in mind that rejection is normal and part of the process. Every no is just bringing you closer to the yes that will be the right fit. To stay motivated, it's also helpful to set small, achievable goals. Instead of focusing only on landing a job, set daily or weekly goals, such as applying to a certain number of jobs, reaching out to a few professional contacts, or improving your resume. By breaking down the process into manageable tasks, you can maintain a sense of accomplishment even on tough days. For example, aim to send out 5 applications a week, or follow up on at least 3 previous job leads. This will keep you active and focused on progress rather than feeling overwhelmed by the bigger picture. Another great way to stay motivated is to keep learning and improving your skills. If you're not hearing back from employers or getting the interviews you want, this might be a good time to assess if there's anything you can do to improve your qualifications. You might consider taking an online course, attending workshops, or even volunteering in your field. These activities not only improve your skills, but also keep you busy and engaged. Plus, learning new things will make you feel more confident when it's time for your next interview. It's also important to celebrate your wins, no matter how small they may seem. Even if you don't get the job, getting an interview or receiving positive feedback from an employer is an achievement. Take time to acknowledge these milestones and give yourself credit for the hard work you're putting in. This can help you stay positive and motivated throughout the process. Every step forward, no matter how small, is progress. Stay connected with your network as well. Reach out to friends, colleagues, or mentors who may be able to offer support, advice, or even job leads. Networking is a powerful tool during your job search, and the more you stay in touch with people in your field, the more opportunities you may discover. Networking can also help you remind you that you are not alone in this process and that others are willing to support you. Lastly, try to take care of yourself. Job searching can be stressful, so it's essential to manage stress and stay healthy. Make time for activities that help you relax and recharge, whether it's exercising, reading, spending time with loved ones, or enjoying a hobby. Taking care of your physical and mental well-being will help you stay positive and keep your energy up, which is essential to staying motivated through the process. By staying patient, setting small goals, continuing to learn, celebrating your progress, networking, and focusing on self-care, you can maintain a positive attitude throughout your job search. Remember that every job search is different, and there's no perfect timeline. With the right mindset, the job that's the best fit for you will come along and you'll be ready for it. This is the end of our job interview series. With the strategies and tips we've covered, you're now better prepared to handle your interviews with confidence, stay motivated during your job search, and take proactive steps towards finding the right job for you. Keep learning, keep practicing, and don't give up.
Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word. The right person for the job.
Perfect fit.
The ability to think clearly and make good decisions.
Acumen.
Be superior to, among the best.
Excel.
To be the leader of something.
Head.
To make something active or effective.
Implement.
A meeting where people acquire skills and knowledge about a subject.
Training session.
Have a difficult time.
Struggle.
Arriving or doing something at the expected or planned time.
Punctuality.
To deal with a matter, issue, problem, etc.
Address.
To select a few candidates in order to make a final selection or decision.
Short list.
Someone or something that is likely to succeed or to be chosen.
Prospect.
Curriculum vitae, a short document that describes your education, work experience, etc.
CV.
A weakness that someone has.
Shortcoming.
A valuable or beneficial thing or ability that a person has.
Asset.
A great success or achievement a person has. Triumph. Let's try that faster. The right person for the job.
Perfect fit.
Arriving or doing something at the expected or planned time.
Punctuality.
A meeting where people acquire skills and knowledge about a subject.
Training session.
A great success or achievement a person has. Triumph. Someone or something that is likely to succeed or to be chosen.
Prospect.
Have a difficult time.
Struggle.
The ability to think clearly and make good decisions.
Acumen.
A weakness that someone has.
Shortcoming.
To select a few candidates in order to make a final selection or decision.
Short list.
Be superior to, among the best.
Excel.
To deal with a matter, issue, problem, etc.
Address.
To be the leader of something.
Head.
A valuable or beneficial thing or ability that a person has.
Asset.
To make something active or effective.
Implement.
Curriculum vitae, a short document that describes your education, work experience, etc.
CV.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Excel. When I was a kid, I excelled in math. Excel. Our company currently excels at customer service. Excel. I excel at writing code. Head. I'm heading a new division in our company. Head. She headed up the marketing efforts for our new product. Head. I would like to head this new project. Struggle. When I was in school, I really struggled with physics. Struggle. After many years of struggling, I finally became rich. Struggle. To be honest, I do struggle with time management. Address. We didn't know that problem existed, but we will address it this week. Address. We need to address this issue before it gets too big. Address. Addressing these problems is a top priority for this company. Acumen. Bob brings business acumen, knowledge, and experience. He's an asset to this company. Acumen. We must hire a programmer with strong technical acumen. Acumen. I'm sorry, we cannot hire you at this time since the position requires someone with stronger business acumen.
It's the morning of your big job interview. You wake up early, feeling the excitement and the nerves mixed together. You know this could be the opportunity you've been waiting for. But there's also a lot of pressure. You've done the research. You've read about the company. And now it's time to focus on the questions you'll likely be asked. One question stands out. Why should we hire you? This is a question that most interviewers ask. And it's your chance to sell yourself. It's not just about saying that you're good at what you do, but about connecting your skills to the company's needs. You need to highlight your strengths, but in a way that matches what the company is looking for. It's also a chance to show that you understand a role, that you have the right skills, and that you've done your homework. So, how do you answer this question? One way is to talk about your specific experience. For example, you could say, I have strong acumen in project management. Over the past 5 years, I've successfully led teams in delivering complex projects on time and under budget. By using words like acumen, which means keen insight or skill, you're showing that you not only have experience, but that you understand your field. It's important to back up your claims with real examples that prove your worth. But remember, confidence is key. This question isn't just about answering correctly. It's about showing that you believe in yourself. If you're confident about your abilities, the interviewer will feel more confident in you too. But that doesn't mean bragging. You need to be humble while still clearly demonstrating your qualifications. As you finish your answer, you know there's another question coming. One that might be a bit trickier. Most interviewers will also ask about your weaknesses. This is your chance to be honest, but to also show how you're working to improve yourself. Everyone has weaknesses, but how you present them can make a huge difference. And that brings us to the next big question. What is your greatest weakness? Now, the next question hits you, and it's one that always feels a little tricky. What is your greatest weakness? The temptation is to say something like, I work too hard, or I'm a perfectionist. But interviewers have heard those answers many times before. Instead, you want to show a weakness that's honest, but not damaging to your chances of getting the job. It's important to be genuine, but you also need to turn this weakness into an opportunity to show your growth and self-awareness. For example, if you struggle with time management, you could say, in the past, I've found that I sometimes have trouble prioritizing tasks when things get very busy. But then you quickly follow up with something like, however, I've been actively working on improving my time management skills by using project management tools and creating detailed schedules for my work. Over the past few months, I've seen a big improvement. This answer shows that you're aware of the issue and, more importantly, that you're taking steps to fix it. The key to answering this question is showing that you are self-reflective. It's easy to give a generic answer, but the best candidates are the ones who can talk openly about their weaknesses and also show that they are motivated to improve. You want the interviewer to know that you don't shy away from challenges but face them head on. Another good example could be if you feel that public speaking is a weakness. You might say, I've always been a little nervous about speaking in front of large groups, but I've recently started taking every opportunity to practice. I've joined a local speaking group, and I volunteer to present at team meetings. It's still a work in progress, but I'm getting much better at it. This answer not only shows vulnerability, but also highlights your commitment to self-improvement, which is a strength in itself. The way you talk about your weakness can also say a lot about your attitude toward personal development. If you sound like you're making excuses or blaming others, it could hurt your chances. But if you show that you're actively working on becoming a better version of yourself, it'll leave a positive impression. Once you've tackled these two questions, you'll likely feel a sense of accomplishment. But even after answering them well, there are still other parts of the interview that could challenge you. How you handle those can really make the difference between getting the job and not. And that's what I'll talk about next. After addressing the big questions about your strengths and weaknesses, you can't relax just yet. The interviewer may move on to asking about your experience. This is another area where you need to be prepared. It's not enough to just say, I've worked in this field for 5 years. You need to connect your past roles to the position you're applying for, showing how your experience is directly relevant to the job. For example, let's say you're applying for a marketing position. Instead of just listing your previous marketing jobs, explain how those experiences make you the right fit for this role. You could say, in my last role as a marketing coordinator, I developed campaigns that increased engagement by 20%. I learned how to use data to drive decision-making, which I know will be valuable for this position, where data analysis is key to creating successful campaigns. By including specific numbers, you make your experience more concrete and believable. Numbers help back up your achievements and make your skills stand out. It's also important to focus on the transferable skills you've gained. These are skills that can be applied to many different jobs, no matter the industry. For example, communication, problem solving, and leadership are all transferable skills. Let's say you've worked in customer service before. Even though it's not directly related to the job you're applying for, you can still say, I've developed strong communication skills through my work with customers. I've learned how to handle complaints effectively and turn unhappy customers into loyal ones. I believe these skills will be valuable in any team environment. You want to show the interviewer that you're not just looking for any job. You're looking for a role where you can apply what you've already learned and keep growing. This demonstrates your flexibility and your ability to adapt. Another part of the experience question could involve discussing the challenges you've faced. Every job has obstacles, but what matters is how you've dealt with them. A great answer would be to explain a specific challenge and then show how you solved it. In my previous job, we had a situation where we were behind on deadlines due to unexpected changes. I took charge of reassigning tasks, ensuring clear communication, and we managed to get the project back on track. This taught me how to handle pressure and think on my feet. This not only shows your problem-solving abilities, but also gives the interviewer a glimpse of your leadership potential. As the conversation continues, you'll begin to feel more comfortable. You've shown that you have the skills, experience, and attitude they're looking for. But remember, the interview is not just about answering questions correctly. It's about building a connection with the interviewer and showing them that you're the best person for the job. That's something you'll need to keep in mind as you move to the next stage of the interview process. As the interview progresses, you'll likely get some questions about teamwork and how you work with others. These types of questions are common because companies want to know how you fit into a team dynamic. They're not just hiring you for your skills. They're hiring you to work with other people, so your ability to collaborate is key. One typical question might be, tell me about a time when you had to work with a difficult colleague. This kind of question can feel uncomfortable, but it's an important opportunity to show your emotional intelligence and how you handle conflict. The interviewer doesn't want to hear that your colleague was terrible and that you couldn't work with them. Instead, they want to know how you handled the situation. A good answer could sound something like this. In a previous job, I worked on a project with a colleague who had a very different working style from mine. They preferred to work independently, while I was more of a team-oriented person. At first, this created some tension, but I recognized that we needed to find a balance. I took the initiative to sit down with them and discuss our differences. We decided to divide the work in a way that played to both our strengths, and by communicating openly, we were able to complete the project successfully. By framing your answer like this, you show that you can handle difficult situations professionally. You show that you didn't let personal differences get in the way of your work. You also demonstrate problem-solving, communication skills, and the ability to collaborate, key qualities that employers look for in any employee. Another common question in this category might be, how do you handle stress and tight deadlines? Every job comes with its own pressures, and employers want to know that you can manage stress effectively. A great answer could go something like this. I find that the best way to handle stress is to stay organized and focused. When I'm faced with tight deadlines, I break down the work into smaller tasks and prioritize them. I also make sure to communicate with my team, so everyone knows what needs to be done. I've learned that staying calm and having a clear plan is the key to managing stress. This response shows that you don't let stress overwhelm you. Instead, you focus on organization and communication, both of which are qualities that help teams succeed. And when you mention that you've learned how to handle stress, you're showing the interviewer that you're willing to grow and improve, which is always a positive trait. These types of questions can feel like a challenge, but they're really just another way for the interviewer to see how well you fit into their team and how you'll contribute to the company's overall success. If you can show that you work well with others, handle pressure gracefully, and solve problems effectively, you'll be well on your way to impressing them. As the interview continues, you may be asked questions about your future goals and where you see yourself in the next few years. This is a common question, and it can be tricky because you don't want to give the impression that you're just looking for a job to pass the time. Employers want to know that you're serious about the role and that you're invested in the company's future. They also want to see if your career goals align with the company's goals. A great way to approach this question is to focus on the opportunity for growth. For example, you could say, in the next few years, I hope to develop my skills in this role and eventually take on more responsibilities, such as managing a team or leading projects. I see this position as a step toward growing my career in a specific field, and I'm excited about the opportunity to contribute to the success of the company. This response shows that you're motivated, ambitious, and looking for a long-term commitment. It also shows that you're willing to grow within the company, which is exactly what employers want to hear. They don't want someone who will leave after a year. They want someone who will be dedicated and contribute to the company's success over time. Another important part of this question is showing that you understand the company's mission and values. You could say something like, I'm particularly drawn to this company because of your focus on innovation and sustainability. I'm passionate about these areas, and I would love to be part of a team that is making a real impact. In the long term, I see myself taking on roles that allow me to contribute to these goals. This kind of response shows that you're not just focused on your own career development, but also on how you can add value to the company. The key to answering these types of questions is to stay positive and forward-looking. Employers want to know that you're not just filling a position. They want someone who is excited about the role, the company, and the opportunity to grow with them. By showing that you have clear goals and that you're aligned with the company's mission, you're proving that you're the kind of person they want to invest in. At this point in the interview, you've answered some of the biggest questions. But there's still one more thing you need to be ready for. The moment when the interviewer asks, "Do you have any questions for me?" This part is just as important as the rest of the interview. The interviewer leans forward and asks, "Do you have any questions for me?" This is your moment to shine and show that you've done your research. Asking thoughtful questions not only demonstrates your interest in the role, but it also helps you understand if this is the right job for you. So what should you ask? One good question to ask is about the company culture. For example, you could say, "Can you tell me more about the team I will be working with?" This shows that you're thinking about how you fit into the larger picture and whether you'll be comfortable in the workplace environment. Understanding the culture is important because it helps you decide if the company's values align with your own. If the team is collaborative, supportive, and focused on growth, you'll have a better chance of thriving in that environment. Another great question is about opportunities for professional development. How does the company support employees' growth and development? This shows that you're committed to learning and growing in your career, and it gives the interviewer a chance to explain how they invest in their employees. Many companies offer training programs, mentorship, or opportunity for advancement, and knowing this can help you understand your future prospects within the company. You can also ask about the company's challenges or future plans. For example, what are some of the biggest challenges a company is facing right now? This shows that you're thinking strategically and that you care about the company's long-term success. It can also give you insight into what kind of problems you might face in the role, so you can decide if you're ready for them. But be careful not to ask questions that can easily be answered by looking at the company's website. For instance, don't ask about basic details like the company's mission or services. They should already be clear to you. Instead, focus on questions that demonstrate your interest in the role and your readiness to contribute. Finally, as the interview wraps up, you'll want to express your interest and enthusiasm for the position. A simple statement like, "I'm very excited about this opportunity and feel that my skills are a great match for the role," can leave a positive impression. It's important to show that you're not just interviewing for any job. You're genuinely interested in this one. As you leave the interview, you'll likely feel a sense of accomplishment. You've answered tough questions, shown confidence, and asked insightful questions. No matter the outcome, you'll know that you gave it your best shot. And that's something to be proud of.
Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word. The right person for the job.
Perfect fit.
The ability to think clearly and make good decisions.
Acumen.
Be superior to, among the best.
Excel.
To be the leader of something.
Head.
To make something active or effective.
Implement.
A meeting where people acquire skills and knowledge about a subject.
Training session.
Have a difficult time.
Struggle.
Arriving or doing something at the expected or planned time.
Punctuality.
To deal with a matter, issue, problem, etc.
Address.
To select a few candidates in order to make a final selection or decision.
Short list.
Someone or something that is likely to succeed or to be chosen.
Prospect.
Curriculum vitae, a short document that describes your education, work experience, etc.
CV.
A weakness that someone has.
Shortcoming.
A valuable or beneficial thing or ability that a person has.
Asset.
A great success or achievement a person has. Triumph. Let's try that faster. The right person for the job.
Perfect fit.
Arriving or doing something at the expected or planned time.
Punctuality.
A meeting where people acquire skills and knowledge about a subject.
Training session.
A great success or achievement a person has. Triumph. Someone or something that is likely to succeed or to be chosen.
Prospect.
Have a difficult time.
Struggle.
The ability to think clearly and make good decisions.
Acumen.
A weakness that someone has.
Shortcoming.
To select a few candidates in order to make a final selection or decision.
Short list.
Be superior to, among the best.
Excel.
To deal with a matter, issue, problem, etc.
Address.
To be the leader of something.
Head.
a valuable or beneficial thing or ability that a person has.
Asset.
To make something active or effective.
Implement.
Curriculum vitae, a short document that describes your education, work experience, etc.
CV.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Excel. When I was a kid, I excelled in math. Excel. Our company currently excels at customer service. Excel. I excel at writing code. Head. I'm heading a new division in our company. Head. She headed up the marketing efforts for our new product. Head. I would like to head this new project. Struggle. When I was in school, I really struggled with physics. Struggle. After many years of struggling, I finally became rich. Struggle. To be honest, I do struggle with time management. Address. We didn't know that problem existed, but we will address it this week. Address. We need to address this issue before it gets too big. Address. Addressing these problems is a top priority for this company. Acumen. Bob brings business acumen, knowledge, and experience. He's an asset to this company. Acumen. We must hire a programmer with strong technical acumen. Acumen. I'm sorry, we cannot hire you at this time since the position requires someone with stronger business acumen.